I get a lot of questions about how Deployment Pals works and what it is, what the program is about. My kitty's making a cameo. What we do in Deployment Pals is we match up people who have a deployed significant other. We take two people whose significant others are deployed and we match them with someone else who also has a obviously deployed significant other. It could be a girlfriend or boyfriend, wife, fiance, etc. Typically, this is every month, and the rounds last about a month. Of course, you can continue talking to the person for more than a month if you get to know them as you will over the month. You probably will grow closer to them. They will become someone that you can talk to and form a bond with, even though it is just over the internet. Usually you do become closer and like that person, and there's someone you can talk to and they know what you're going through because they're going through the same thing. Now, as far as sign up goes, I post the sign up thread in the Deployment Pals section, usually about 1 to 2 weeks before the deadline for the sign up of Deployment Pals. And the thread consists of a questionnaire, which you must send in to my private message box. The questionnaire is pretty simple. You don't have to fill out everything. The only mandatory questions are pretty obvious. It says these questions are mandatory, and that's just so I know pretty much that you're going to participate. It's the stuff that we require: that you are an active member. That is one requirement. You must be a member of the board for a certain amount of time in order to participate. That's a safety measure. And you must also have a certain number of posts. That's also a safety measure. And you must also have had a certain number of posts in the last month. That's another safety measure. That's just to ensure that people aren't, just coming in and start talking to people. Because people can get too safe, or not safe, but too comfortable. Nothing on the internet is safe, obviously. We take OPSEC and PERSEC very, very seriously. You always need to watch what you say. It's very important, especially in Deployment Pals. If you do an OPSEC violation, you will get in a lot of trouble. I do monitor threads. I monitor them a lot. Probably the Deployment Pal threads get monitored more than other threads. And if you are found to make an OPSEC violation, the repercussions are probably more strict than if you had made it somewhere else on the board, because you are supposed to know the rules before you post in this section. You're supposed to have read them anyways, but it's especially important because this is the deployment section of the board, and if somebody was to come on the board and be looking for that type of information, obviously that's where they're going to want to go. So we need to be careful, obviously. Sometimes we have rounds where we send out gifts. If it's one of those rounds, sometimes we will up the post count requirement or the length of time requirement. It will also be noted in the sign up. so it's not going to be a surprise to you. It will say gift giving round. It'll be very, very obvious. It's not going to be a surprise. We won't blindside you. We're not going to go, oh, by the way, you have to give him a present. It's never like that. If you want to send your pal something and you have their address, which we do not require in the questionnaire, it's not required. I don't think it's even in there. I'm pretty sure we took that out for per-sec reasons. Then by all means. But I wouldn't recommend giving your address out to someone that you do not know. I have personally gone through exchanges on SOS and had no problem, but you never know. You really don't ever know. It could change anytime, you know. I can't say that it will always be safe. I can't say that it won't be safe, you know. Okay, back to what we were talking about. How often do you have to contact your pal? You have to contact your pal at least 3 times per week. That is the bare minimum. If I see that you are signing on to the board and you're not talking in your thread, then obviously that's not okay. You signed up for Deployment Pals. You made a commitment. You need to follow through on your commitment. It's not that hard to post in a thread and say, hi, how are you? How's your week going? How was your day today? Oh, you went out to dinner. What did you do at dinner? You had a fight with your mom. I'm so sorry. I hope you're feeling better. You're sick. That sucks. Make small talk if you have to. You don't have to love each other. You know, you're both going through the same thing. It might be a little bit different. You might be different branches. Try to find out more about the other branch. Try to find things you have in common. Do you both have kids? Are you both from the same area? You know, like, find something you have in common and go with it. Find something you don't have in common and try to learn more about it. But you have to contact them at least 3 times a week for the month. If you don't, and you don't follow through, you can be banned from all exchanges on the board. Everything. Okay. As far as finding out who your pal is, at the beginning of every Deployment Pals round, I will post a thread with both of your names in it in the Deployment Pals section. It'll say your name, their name, month, and year. I'll PM both of you with the link to your Deployment Pal thread, both of your questionnaires, and the link to the monthly chat thread. You can also post visitor messages on their profile. You can send PMs to each other. Do what you gotta do. If they don't contact you at all within a couple of days, please let me know as soon as possible, so I can try to find you somebody else and I can put them on the blacklist. It's not okay. If they make an OPSEC violation, report it. Hit the report post button. It's a triangle, has an exclamation point in it. Report the post. Report it. It is okay for you to report the post. You're not going to get in trouble. Better safe than sorry. If your